My beloved child, the hour you never expected has just arrived. The moment I rope into your life before time began is unfolding, right here, right now. And it is not by accident that your eyes landed here. You didn't just find this message. I placed it in your path because the door that has been waiting for you is about to open, but only if you don't walk away. You felt it, haven't you? The uneasiness, the pull, the tension in your spirit that something massive is shifting, yet invisible to the world around you. That's not your imagination. That's me, moving the pieces, aligning the moments, and bringing you face to face with the most important decision of your life. You're standing in the space between what you thought was possible and what I am about to reveal. You've come through seasons where everything felt stuck, silent, like heaven was quiet, like the promises faded. You've waited, cried, pressed on. And I watched, not from afar, but from within the ache of your unanswered prayers. Every whine, Lord, was written on my heart. Every silent night where no one noticed your fight, I noticed. And now, the waiting is turning. Something enormous is pressing into the edges of your reality. But here's what you must understand: not everyone will enter it. This moment is marked for you, but it requires your response. Not tomorrow, not later. Now, don't skip. There are doors in front of you that are spiritually coded. They do not open with effort. They open with obedience, with surrender, with trust. You can't break them open by force. You must step through them with faith. I've seen how exhausted you are, and yet, you're still here. You're still listening. That alone is proof you're closer than you think. But I must tell you this with clarity: you are at the edge. And what comes next depends on what you choose to do with what I am telling you right now. You've prayed for a turning point. This is it. You've asked me for confirmation. This is it. You've begged for change, begged for peace, begged for proof that I'm still moving. And I am. I never stop. But you must not turn away. Don't let this slip through your fingers. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a shift I have ordained that will not return in the same way again. It is not chance. It is not hype. It is not just another message. It is your divine interruption. And if you lean in, even for these few minutes, you'll feel it. The weight lifting, the atmosphere changing, the veil thinning. This is your moment. This is your last chance before what I've prepared moves forward without you. Today, listen. Open. I'm just getting started. Before you realize it, the ground beneath your thoughts has already begun to shift. What felt solid a moment ago is loosening, not to make you fall, but to make room for something truer. I'm not pulling anything away from you. I am clearing what no longer belongs so what does can finally arrive. You've been trying to understand why certain paths closed without explanation, why people drifted, why timing betrayed you just when hope felt close. You assumed something went wrong. You blamed yourself in ways no one else ever saw. But hear this carefully: nothing collapsed by accident. I intervened quietly, precisely because what you were reaching for would have limited what I am preparing to place in your hands now. There are layers to your life you haven't touched yet. Not because you weren't ready, but because they require a different posture, one you're only now beginning to carry. Strength alone couldn't open them. Neither can persistence. They respond to alignment. And alignment is happening. What you are sensing is not pressure, it is proximity. You are closer than you've ever been to clarity. The confusion that once surrounded you served a purpose, It slowed you down long enough for truth to catch up. You don't need to chase answers anymore. They are approaching you. I see how guarded your heart became after disappointment. How you learned to expect less so you wouldn't hurt as deeply. That survival instinct kept you breathing, but it cannot carry you forward. What comes next requires openness again, not recklessness but courage. And you have it, even if you forgot. This moment is not about fixing your past. It's about repositioning your future. You're not being asked to relive old wounds or prove anything. You're being invited to stand where vision replaces memory. The weight you've carried was never meant to be permanent. It taught you discernment, not despair. Right now, something subtle but significant is unfolding inside you. The urge to lean in instead of away. The feeling that this isn't noise. That sense is accurate. I am not rushing you, but I am inviting you deeper. What I'm revealing cannot be rushed, yet it also cannot be postponed indefinitely. Timing matters because readiness matters. You may wonder why this feels different from other moments that promised change. It's because this one isn't built on emotion. It's built on truth. And truth doesn't shout, it settles. It rearranges quietly until suddenly everything makes sense. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where the next step becomes visible. Don't skip. There is more unfolding than what you can see on the surface. Stay till the end, because what's coming will connect pieces you thought were unrelated. Something huge is waiting for you. Not in the distance, but just beyond what you're willing to trust. What I'm leading you into doesn't resemble what you expected. It's better. It fits you. And once you see it, you'll understand why nothing else could come before this moment. Remain here. Let the unfolding continue. It started long before you noticed. Quiet adjustments. Delays you called disappointments. Meetings you missed that were actually protection. I've been arranging details behind curtains you couldn't pull back, not to keep you in the dark, but to shield you from what would have dimmed your fire too soon. Your journey has been misunderstood, even by those closest to you. They saw the setbacks, not the sacred shaping. They interpreted silence as failure, unaware that silence often signals the weight of something too holy for noise. You wondered if you were forgotten, when in reality, I was crafting something that could not be rushed. What you're standing in now is not confusion. It's the threshold. The in-between space where what begins to fade and what will be begins to whisper. You've come to recognize that tension. It doesn't scare you like it used to. That's because something inside you has matured without applause or validation. What once would have broken you now strengthens your discernment. I am speaking to you in layers right now. Not everything I am doing will be seen instantly. Some of it will only make sense in hindsight, and that's intentional. You're not being given the full picture because your faith has grown strong enough to walk with partial light. You're being trusted with mystery, not to confuse you, but to call you higher. There's someone in your life you haven't fully released, not because you're bound to them, but because part of you still hopes they'll change in time. I know the weight of that loyalty. I've watched it cost you sleep. But I need you to see. Some people cannot walk into the future I've carved for you. Their presence would distort the clarity of what I'm about to show you. Trust me here. Let go, and watch peace return to the place where confusion has been living. The pressure you're feeling isn't a warning. It's confirmation that what's been dormant is stirring. Promises I whispered when you were young are rising from the deep places again, not as memories, but as movements. You didn't miss it. You were simply becoming the person strong enough to carry it. Right now, I am asking for your attention, not your effort, not your perfection, just your attention. Because what's about to unfold will require focus. The noise around you will try to disguise itself as urgency. It will demand responses. But I am not in the noise. I am in the stillness. And in that stillness, I will reveal what to pursue and what to release. Stay till the end. The next moment is not a continuation of the last season. It's an introduction to a new assignment. What didn't make sense before will start to organize in ways you never expected. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, just beyond what you're willing to surrender. And once you taste what I've been holding for you, you'll realize why no delay was ever wasted. Keep watching. We're not done. You've been sensing the atmosphere around you tighten, almost like time is folding in. That feeling isn't coincidence. It's alignment. What's happening now isn't just another phase in your life. It's the final stage before something sacred becomes visible. You were born for this moment, and though you couldn't see it before, now the light is beginning to bend toward clarity. Here's a weight I've been lifting off you layer by layer, even when you didn't recognize it as lifting. The tension in your heart, the pressure in your thoughts, the invisible resistance you've battled in silence, all of it was part of the unraveling. I allowed it not to harm you, but to strip away every identity that didn't belong to the one I designed. Your identity is not what they said, not what the pain tried to name you, not what your lowest moments attempted to define. I see you as I first imagined you, untouched by fear, whole in purpose, radiant in truth. I am bringing you back to that version now, your original design. And this restoration will not be superficial. You've reached a threshold where old strategies no longer apply. The ways you used to cope, strive, and stabilize are being replaced. They served you then, but they cannot sustain what's next. You'll notice it in the small things first, certain habits falling away, certain desires changing form. That's me, rewiring your response to what used to control you. There's also something sacred I've been waiting to show you, but it required stillness. That's why so many voices around you have gone quiet. It's not isolation. It's refinement. You were never meant to follow the noise. You were made to walk with insight. And insight only comes when the outside world can no longer dictate what peace should look like. Don't skip. You're not behind. You're not waiting for a miracle to catch up to you. The miracle has already arrived. It's just waiting for your agreement. Heaven moves not when you work harder, but when you listen deeper. And right now, I'm inviting you into a kind of listening that goes beyond hearing. A listening that leads to unlocking. Stay till the end. A decision is forming inside you, quietly, subtly, but it will define the rest of your steps. You won't need to force it. It will rise like peace, like knowing. And when it does, I will confirm it in ways you cannot miss. Something huge is waiting for you. Not a dream you invented. Not a wish you conjured. A reality I've already written. And if you lean in, just a little further, you'll step into the room where that reality becomes real. It's no longer about waiting. The shift is already underway. What you're feeling deep within, the pause in your breath, the stirring you can't explain, that's the signal. You stepped into the unfolding, not the preparation for it. The actual moment where what I've promised begins to take form, not in the distant future, but in your present atmosphere. There's a sound your spirit is starting to hear, even if your mind can't describe it. That sound is movement. You don't need to chase it. You're already in it. Every disruption around you, every sudden redirection, isn't chaos, it's coordination. I am guiding your path away from what would have looked right but led nowhere. You don't need to fear missteps. I've already gone ahead to anchor what's next. There is something I hid within you for a season such as this. Not a gift that performs, a voice that carries weight. You will find yourself speaking into places you didn't expect to enter. Doors will open, not because of who you know, but because of what I've placed inside you that can no longer be silenced. You've been prepared in silence. Now you'll be positioned through obedience. You don't need to announce what's changing. The change will speak for itself. What you carry will begin to shift rooms, not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. Don't skip. There's a conversation I've been waiting to have with your future. And now that you're listening, I can say it. You are ready. Not by the world's standards, by mine. And my standard is not perfection. It's availability. I can do more with one moment of your surrender than you could ever build in years of striving. Stay till the end. There's someone connected to your life who needs the version of you that only emerges when you fully trust me. You don't even know who they are yet. But I do. And their breakthrough is tied to your obedience. Something huge is waiting for you. It's not arriving. It's already here. You've simply been adjusting your focus to see it clearly. And once your spirit aligns with what's already been released, your reality will fall. This isn't build-up. This is birthing. The next decision you make will open a chain reaction of clarity, provision, and encounters you couldn't plan if you tried. Stand still for a moment. Breathe. You're stepping across the threshold, and everything is about to change. You've just heard it. Something huge is waiting for you. And now, I invite you to step into it not just with your heart, but with your hands. This is a divine moment to sow into the very soil of eternity. Every gift you give helps carry God's word into places your feet may never reach, but your faith will. You've cried, "Use me, Lord." This is how I'm answering you. Through a wave of support that will awaken souls, restore families, and reignite hearts across the earth. When you give, rivers of living water will flow beyond this screen, and heaven will respond with open hands. The oil you release today will return to you as blessing, protection, and breakthrough. So now, not out of duty, but as worship. The PayPal link is in the description. Your seed will not be forgotten in heaven. Give now. This is your moment to release what's in your hand and receive what's in mine. What you're stepping into doesn't resemble anything you've known before, and that's by design. This new space I'm leading you into wasn't created from your past. It was formed by the promise I buried deep in your spirit long before you saw your first day. It's not emerging from what you've built. It's unfolding because you finally let go of what I never asked you to carry. You've asked me for clarity, but clarity isn't always a sentence. It's a shift. One day, everything feels familiar. The next, what used to fit begins to feel too small. A discomfort. It's not failure. It's growth breaking through the surface. You're outgrowing environments that once supported you. That doesn't mean you've lost your way. It means your vision is catching up with your assignment. I am realigning how you move through this world. No longer as someone surviving the day, but as one who walks with divine intention. The weight you've carried hasn't gone unnoticed. But more than that, the decisions you made when no one was watching, those have triggered movements in the heavens that only obedience can unlock. Your thoughts are being restructured for what's next. The patterns that once kept you trapped are weakening. You've been wondering why old temptations no longer pull the same way. It's because I've already started rewiring your appetite for truth. What used to satisfy the surface no longer reaches the depths. That shift is not your doing. It's me preparing you to hold what cannot be compromised. Don't skip. There is something being revealed to you, not through visions or dreams, but through peace. Real peace. The kind that doesn't come from comfort, but from knowing you are standing in the center of what I have spoken. You'll feel it in conversations, in silence, in unexpected moments of rest that feel like home. Stay till the end. There's a new connection being formed, not built on need or convenience, but covenant. Someone I've been preparing is about to intersect your journey, not to complete you, but to walk beside you as you rise. You won't need to strive for their attention. They will recognize the oil on your life because they've been marked by the same calling. Something huge is waiting for you. It's no longer about effort. It's about presence. The more aware you are of me, the more aligned you become with what I've prepared. I'm not asking you to prove yourself. I'm inviting you to walk with me without fear of what you will leave behind. The old rhythm has ended. The new one begins now. Don't look back. What's ahead carries your name. Something has already shifted in the unseen, even though your surroundings haven't fully caught up. It's the kind of change that begins beneath the surface, subtle, quiet, almost invisible. But don't mistake its gentleness for weakness. This is how I build foundations that last, deep first, then high. You've been interpreting the stillness as inactivity, but I'm showing you how to recognize maturity. What doesn't move fast often grows the strongest. There's been a shedding of urgency within you, a quiet release of the pressure to keep proving yourself. That's not laziness. That's wisdom finally replacing fear. Right now, I'm revealing the difference between what's temporary and what's eternal. The things you once fought to keep are no longer worth your peace. And the things you once dismissed as unreachable are beginning to come closer, almost like they were waiting for you to slow down enough to notice their arrival. You're going to see something this week that will confirm what you've been sensing. It may not look dramatic, but it will be undeniable. A person, a phrase, a moment that pierces through the noise like a divine signature. Don't question it when it comes. That's me, signing my name across your ordinary day in an extraordinary way. Here is a message hidden in your current surroundings. Something I've embedded into the landscape of your life that, until now, you've overlooked. Look again. Listen differently. I've been speaking through patterns you thought were routine. And once your spirit aligns with the signal, things will begin to move with clarity. Don't skip. There is someone connected to your future whose healing will begin the moment you say yes to this next instruction. You don't need to know who they are yet. You only need to trust that obedience always reaches further than you can imagine. Stay till the end. The next few days are not ordinary. They are a window. I'm not warning you, I'm inviting you. There's an intersection ahead where timing and readiness will meet. If you walk slowly, with attention, you will recognize it. But if you move too fast, it will pass like a whisper in the wind. Something huge is waiting for you. Not because you earned it, but because it was always yours. This is the hour I begin returning what the delays tried to steal, not in pieces, but in full. Get ready. It's closer than you think. There are moments when truth doesn't shout. It just settles. What you're feeling right now isn't adrenaline. It's confirmation. That quiet certainty rising in your chest. That's me marking this exact second as sacred. You've arrived at a turning point not created by your plans, but by my timing. What I'm releasing into your life doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be carried. This is not about doing more. It's about becoming still enough to recognize what's already present. You've matured into a level of awareness that doesn't crave dramatic signs, but can now detect the holy in the subtle. I place something in front of you that doesn't look like an answer, but it is. It's wrapped in simplicity. It won't demand your attention with noise, but it will call to your spirit with weight. Pay attention to what feels oddly familiar even though you've never seen it before. That's me, signaling the next move. You've come through seasons that drain you without explanation. Times when your efforts fell flat and your prayers felt suspended in air. What you couldn't see then was how I was safeguarding you from open doors that would have pulled you away from your core identity. I didn't deny you. I preserved you. The pressure you've been under recently has a reason. It's not punishment. It's preparation to handle what's coming without being crushed by it. You're being stretched so you can carry what has eternal weight without losing your peace. What I'm building with you now must last, so I'm forming you in ways the world won't understand. Don't skip. There's an instruction I've been whispering to you that seems too small to matter. But it's the key. Follow it. Your locking won't come from something new, but from finally obeying what you've already sensed. Simple yeses in secret places have the power to shift entire seasons. Stay till the end. You're going to encounter a situation that mirrors a previous failure, but this time, the outcome will be different. Not because the conditions have changed, but because you have. That's how you'll know transformation isn't just internal. It's beginning to shape your reality. Something huge is waiting for you. It isn't in the future. It's emerging through your awareness. And once you see what's actually unfolding, your posture toward everything around you will shift. No more striding. Just steady alignment with the rhythm I've set before you. Let it unfold. You're in sync now. What you're stepping into will feel unfamiliar at first, not because it doesn't belong to you, but because it was designed for the version of you that's only now coming alive. This isn't a continuation of your last chapter. It's the beginning of something offered outside of your timeline. I'm not picking up where things left off. I'm unveiling something untouched by disappointment. There's a unique clarity coming, and it won't arrive through explanation. It will come through recognition. You'll walk into spaces that feel strangely prepared, even though you never planned for them. That's not coincidence. It's fulfillment. I've already gone before you. What felt delayed wasn't denied, but was waiting for you to become aligned. You're going to notice that your capacity is changing. What once drained you no longer holds power over your energy. What used to intimidate you now feels small. This is the evidence of elevation. I'm not lifting you to impress anyone. I'm positioning you to influence what eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard. There's a shift happening in how you carry your voice. You'll begin to speak with the kind of authority that doesn't echo the world but carries the weight of heaven. It won't require performance. The atmosphere will adjust, not because of volume, but because truth now has a vessel strong enough to hold it without distortion. I've watched you question whether you're really ready. I've seen the way you examine your history, trying to find confirmation that what you sense is possible. But what's ahead of you isn't based on what's behind you. I'm doing something new, and it's being written in real time. You don't need to trace patterns. You need to trust presence. Don't skip. A divine reversal is underway. Something you released in faith, long ago, quietly, without any return, has reached the threshold of manifestation. It's coming back to you, multiplied and refined. Not as compensation, but as confirmation. I never forgot what you gave when no one was looking. Stay till the end. In the next few days, pay close attention to the small, persistent nudges. That quiet idea you've been shoving. The person you've been meaning to reach out to. The decision you've been postponing because it didn't seem significant. Those are the intersections where obedience unlocks acceleration. Something huge is waiting for you. Not behind locked gates, but right on the edge of awareness. Let go of the pressure to make sense of it all. You're being led, not left behind. The shift you prayed for is not coming from outside. It's rising from within. Walk with it. You're closer than you've ever been. What has been forming quietly is now reaching completion. You've walked through the preparation, endured the silence, and stood in the unseen places where obedience mattered more than visibility. This moment is not just the end of a message, it's the beginning of manifestation. Everything that was once a whisper is becoming reality. You've grown in ways you didn't even recognize. While others measured progress by what they could count, I was watching what you could carry. And now, you're ready. Not by the standards of those around you, but by the measure of heaven's design. The weight of glory resting on you is not accidental. It is timed. It is intentional. And it will now begin to move through your life like a wave no hand can stop. There's a final release I am issuing right now, not a promise for later, but a shift for today. I'm removing what blocked your sight, clearing what cluttered your steps, and pouring into the spaces you surrendered in faith. It will not come through effort. It will come through stillness. The blessing is already in motion. Your posture now is simply to receive. One final thing must be said. Everything that fought to break you will now witness your rising. Not with vengeance, not with pride, but with peace. That's how you will know it's me. Peace will surround you like armor. Favor will find you without striving. And the same places that felt like endings will now become testimonies of divine rebirth. You were never forgotten. You were being positioned. You were never behind. You were being refined. And now, the release begins. Don't write from this moment. Let the final words settle into the places still healing. Let the silence following this message be a holy space, not an empty one. Let what you feel right now confirm what you already know deep down. I am here. I have always been here. And this, my child, is your time to rise. Amen. The release has begun. And now, heaven invites you to become part of the outpouring. This is not a casual request. It is a divine call to partner in the mission of spreading God's voice to a world starving for truth. You've whispered, "Lord, let me be part of something eternal." Now you are. Your giving today becomes fire on the altar, fuel for revival, light for the lost, and oil for the weary. God multiplies every seed planted in faith. And as you give, He is opening a window over your life of favor, healing, and divine reversals. This is your holy assignment, and your obedience will unlock more than you know. The PayPal link is in the video description. Heaven is watching. The field is ready. Give now, and watch the floodgates open over your life. My beloved child, before you go, I speak to you one final time in this holy moment. This word you have received is not ordinary, and neither is what you do next. I ask you now, ignite this message with hype. Lift it up so it does not fade in silence. This is last chance. Open before it's too late. And when you press hype, you are declaring that this warning, this invitation, this mercy must reach the ones who are still sleeping. Let this message rise beyond this place. Let it run like fire through the hearts that are one moment away from missing their turning point. And yes, let your light be a witness, an agreement in the unseen that this word matters and must go further. Now listen closely, because your voice matters here. When this video ends, I want you to declare something in the comments. You not stay silent. Write words that align your spirit with this moment. Say what you are choosing. Say what you are releasing. Say what you are stepping into. Let the comment section become an altar where decisions are made and destinies are marked. When others read your declaration, faith will awaken in them too, and heaven will record what you confess. And finally, I speak to your heart about what comes next. If these words reached you, if you felt my presence through this message, if you know this was not coincidence, then subscribe. Not as a habit, not as a button. Subscribe as an act of obedience. By subscribing, you are saying, Lord, I want to keep hearing you. I don't want to miss the next warning, the next confirmation, the next door you open. This channel is not entertainment. It is a watchtower, a place where I speak before the shift happens. When you subscribe, you are positioning yourself to hear my voice again when timing matters most. Do it now. Do not delay. Do not assume you'll remember later. This is your moment to stay connected, stay alert, and stay ready. I'm with you. I'm speaking. And I am not finished yet. Amen.